Okay, so today we are going to try to make a pot roast using the sun oven, and we've never used a sun oven before, so hopefully it'll be a success. This is Kevin's by far favorite recipe, or favorite dish I should say, so we're going to attempt this. Here we go. So, whoops, I'm doing something wrong already. Do that. Like that.
Oh, it's hitting my eyes.
Mine too. You just also made it brighter.
I think that's all we do, and then we have to add our...
Did it just get brighter?
Probably so.
Oh. We're going to pause for a minute because we left the pans for the sun oven in the house. We'll be right
That
back.
would be helpful.
So now we have our pans. We'll remember this next time, obviously. And Kevin, you might want to come over.
Yep.
Jennifer LeGrand again. We are house sitting for off-grid homesteaders, Doug and Stacy.
Today, in this video, we're going to talk about some of the things that we've learned and just a brief overview and some observations of our week. This is our last day here, and we're packing up and leaving, and this will be our final video, or next to last video anyway. Okay, so I think we just wanted to touch. We're going to have the kids in and do a goodbye, more goodbye video, and touch base with them, touch on with them a little bit on their thoughts. But we kind of wanted to give an overview of some of the things that we've learned, some observations and whatnot. And first off, anybody, if you're still watching from the first video, we appreciate you watching. We hope we didn't bore anybody too much, and that's used to seeing Doug and Stacy on here. We're not really camera people, so this is really new to us. So just I hope you bared with us enough, and hope everything went well. We kind of put ourselves out there as a family, and it kind of made me nervous because I kind of felt, I don't know, a little vulnerable as a family on how it turned out. And we were tested this week, and there were times we didn't do so well, I think, as a family. There were other times we did really well, really good. But I kind of figured that going in, it wasn't going to all be a bed of roses. It's a learning experience, and so we go on from that. But one of the things I learned on that, because I think it caused most of our problems, was the heat was the biggest challenge that we had. I learned I got to drink a lot more water. The days that I drank a lot more water, I felt better than if I didn't drink a lot of water. I recently stopped drinking all soda, but used to be that's all I drink. So I'm not really in the habit of drinking a ton of water. So here in the last few weeks I have been, but I've noticed when I drink, the more water I drank when I was out here, the better I would feel. I didn't get the headaches and whatnot. That was a big one for me.
I noticed that I'm surprised I didn't have any caffeine at all the entire time we've been here, and I haven't had any headaches from caffeine withdrawal. I do love coffee, and I have not had any coffee here since we've been here. And I do love tea, and I've had no tea. So I've only drank water the entire time, I'm pretty sure. So that's been a little bit of a shock.
One of the other things we learned, I think when we all came out here, we pretty much were figuring dead set we were not going to use a composting toilet. I don't know, I think everybody had a crazy notion of either holding it or going to a gas station, which there's really not a gas station down the street. So, which we kind of knew that going in, and I figured we were going to end up being forced into using the composting toilet being here this many days.
I didn't.
But you didn't?
I didn't think we'd be forced into using it.
But that's been a pleasant
like a really
surprise.
good
Honestly, that hasn't been a big deal at all. We have talked before about how we were going to handle a plumbing situation if we did this, whether we would go a composting toilet or outhouse, or if we would look for indoor plumbing. And I had always been fine with an outhouse. I've used them before. I don't have a problem with them at all. Even in January, it wouldn't bother me. My wife's been dead set against it, so I'm like, I don't know how we're going to make this work, because I really didn't want to have to go. I'm trying to stay away from the indoor plumbing if I can, but I wasn't sure how it was going to work, and so this was a nice alternative, and I think we could probably meet in the middle on this one because that's a piece of cake. It really was not as bad as I thought.
No.
You think about it, and when you look at the composting toilet, you see, you know, what it is, and you're like, no, I don't think that's not for me. I'm used to just, you know, hitting a button, flushes, and it's away, and I don't think that's for me. But this really isn't that bad at all.
It was very simple, and it was very surprising that with the heat, that there was no odor, no issues with flies. That was very surprising to me. Very surprising. The odor and flies were not. They were non-existent. That was shocking.
Very doable and very easy.
Yes.
The other thing was, I think one of the things we would have a hard time with, because we have so many kids, and we have a lot of kids we'll consider where we are, you know, back in the city. Up here around the Amish, you know, it's not so much. We're kind of a small family actually. But having that many kids without refrigeration would be tough for us to deal with. The Amish pull it off easy. I think for them because that's all they've done, so they kind of have it. So without learning all the tricks and how they do it, that would be a tough one.
Yeah.
But they use an ice house, and I know that's what Doug is aiming to do here is an ice house. We bought some raw milk from an Amish family, and they've got ice house that they use for refrigeration, but it's not something that they go into constantly throughout the day, or the ice would end up melting. So there's got to be ways of learning if you're going to pull that off, for sure.
So yes, the refrigeration is definitely something that we need to figure
Would be an issue
something
longer
out.
term.
Right, because of having all these kids, you do have leftovers sometimes, and I don't know. We'll have to figure something out on the refrigeration.
Yeah.
But that really was like the only issue. The heat didn't bother me.
Yeah. You know, honestly, and the air wouldn't have been bad. I wouldn't need a central air thing with all that involves. I think if we just had a window unit, I'd be fine. Or we could probably get by without, depending on how we. I don't know. That's stuff to be dealt with, because I would like to try to go as much as we can off. One of the things that we did learn, because we visited an Amish community, there's a lot of Amish around here, but we visited another community that's mostly all Amish, and we went shopping at the stores and whatnot, and
It was a wonderful experience. Wonderful experience.
I have been around them before when I was a lot younger, so I've always had a great respect for the Amish people and their lifestyle. We passed a boy who was probably no more than 10, maybe 8, 9 years old, and he was on. We drive a 12-passenger van, and he was on this flatbed wagon. It was tall, and the wagon was bigger than our van. He had a 2-horse team of draft horses. He was standing up in the thing, working this, you know, going down the road by himself, totally by himself.
Yep.
Total in control of everything. Waved at us as we drove on by, and I'm thinking, holy cow! All the horsepower that wagon has, and that little kid has no problem. And his dad never thought a thing about letting his kid out there, and it just highlights how much we're guilty of it as much as the rest. So this is, you know, society in general. We have allowed people to convince us that our kids really are stuck, are not
Responsible enough.
Yeah, we don't train them to be that responsible. We don't think in society, if you thought of taking another task equal, you would be deemed an unfit parent in regular society.
Yes.
If you had your kid doing something that way, and they don't think a thing about it because that's how the kids are grown up. You know, the Amish have a reputation for being great horse trainers, and they have excellent, you know, draft horses and all that, and they do a great job training them. But still, in all, it's still a very powerful animal, and that kid had no problem doing with that, and the father had all confidence that his son knew what he was doing out there. That was impressive. Just, you know, how much the kids help around the farm and they do the stuff, and at such an early age, it's just they're very impressive on how they do things, and there's a lot to be learned. There's an awful lot to be learned a lot to be learned from them.
And another thing that surprised me was that the Amish people and the Amish community are so welcoming to those of us who do not practice their lifestyle. Very welcoming. As long as you are respectful, they are respectful, and that was really neat to see. I didn't realize that they would be so welcoming.
Yeah.
So we've had a wonderful week. We're so thankful for this opportunity to come out with our family.
We don't know how this video is going to, how these videos are going to turn out. Doug's the editor, so Doug, our life is in, our life's in your hands, so to speak. So we'll see. Like I said, we're kind of putting our family out there here. I don't know how we're going to, it's been overall, it's been a great week. A lot of lessons learned.
Absolutely.
A lot of lessons learned, and ways of, if I could go back now and start thinking, okay, we need to look toward this, this or this, and we're still trying to figure out where we're going to move. We just know we're moving out of St. Louis, but I don't know, in which direction, and I know we're moving away from St. Louis, but I don't know where yet. So we're still, I'm wanting further north and further west, because I like it colder, and she wants it further south and further east, because the hot humidity does not bother her. So we'll figure out where we're going.
So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully we did not make ourselves out to be complete buffoons.
Yeah,
but if we did, it's okay.
You know what? It's life.
It's okay.
It is what it is.
That's right, that's right. So thank you for watching, and we highly suggest that you subscribe to Off-Grid with Doug and Stacy, because they put together much better videos than what we portray. So
Oh yeah.
like and
Much more
subscribe to
camera
them.
people than we are. Camera savvy.
Yes. And so we hope that you've enjoyed these videos, and hopefully it made you laugh at least a little bit.
If not with us, at us. That's all right. I'll live.
That's right. So anyway, that's it.
So,
Thanks for
thank you.
opportunity, Doug and Stacy.